Hear ye, hear ye. I have a very important announcement for everybody.
Trevor, what are you doing?
I've got an announcement. Can I get your attention, please? Everybody. Attention, please. What?
Come down here. You're embarrassing me.
Well, I've got
I was going to talk to you.
I've got a really important announcement. What?
What are you trying to do?
I want everybody to know a very important announcement I'm trying to make right now.
Okay. What's the announcement?
Well, it's a big deal, and so I wanted to kind of stand up and make sure everybody could hear me, project my voice.
We're inside. I want you to use your inside voice. What are you trying to announce?
Okay. I just wanted to announce that episode 18 is about to start.
Okay. Well, our audience is right here. Just go ahead and
Episode 18 is about to start. Hey guys, I'm Trevor.
And I'm Stallion.
And welcome to the Youth Room. So today we're talking about how do you utilize your time making announcements within your youth space to the best of your ability.
Listen, we know that this sometimes feels like a necessary evil. It can be painstaking, it can be rough, but it's something that needs to be done.
I mean, if you want students to show up to the things that you're doing, you've got to make these kinds of announcements. But at the same time, you may have a program that's amazing, but you kill it at the very beginning by having someone who's not very good at making announcements.
That's right. We've seen momentum literally tank during announcement time if we're not careful, if we're not intentional about them. So today we want to give you guys some of the stuff that we found that's been helpful for us during our announcement time.
Yeah, this may only seem like maybe 3 minutes of your program time, but this 3 minutes could make or break a student experience. So a couple of really practical ways to do this. Number one, get a hostess with the mostest. You know what I'm saying?
Explain.
Okay. A hostess with the mostest. You want to have the person on stage during your welcome and announcements time who is the most engaging in the entire student ministry. This may mean that you, youth pastor, may not be the one making announcements.
That's right, and that's not necessarily bad.
Not bad.
In fact, I remember when I first started in the student ministry, being the guy who did everything on stage. I'd get up and do a welcome. I'd do some announcements. We'd have our time of worship. I'd come back for prayer. I'd come back for the message and the close. Yep. And sometimes I even played drums. So I just felt like it was like
people are tired of
the whole time, and it was incredible. The minute I got somebody else to do announcements, it just felt like even just the flow of the night shifted.
You want to find the person who has the most personality, who can be the funniest, who can really engage an audience, who can really give information in a way that's intriguing. This may even be a student, this may be a volunteer, this may be you, maybe somebody else in your youth program, but find the person who is the host with the most and make sure they're the ones on stage doing these announcements.
This time needs to be fun, exciting. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be a dread every time. And even though it's only 3 to 5 minutes, playing it super well, and it can be great.
Yeah, there's some people that are really, really gifted like this, and you want to utilize that gifting to the best of their ability and your ability so that students feel like they've had a great experience. So, hostess with the mostest.
Number 2, get to the point. It's so important when you give announcements to get directly to what you need to talk about. You don't want to go on and on and on about details. Get to the heart of the matter, the heart of the issue. What is the event? What is the announcement?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of information for every single event that you do. You need that information someplace else besides just being spoken from the stage. Because here's the thing, students aren't going to listen. They've only got so much time and so much energy and so much attention they can give you. And so give the details. What are the things that they need to know? And then point them in the direction they can go to find out more information. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's a website, maybe it's a card you've got printed, maybe their parents have the information, but give them the quick and dirty and then show them where to go.
That's right. You want to give them enough information, obviously, to get them excited about the event. So who's coming? What's the band? What food are you going to be having?
Yeah.
Those kind of fun details to hype it up, to get it excited. But then the time, the location, the cost, the early bird cost, the late fee, all of those things, you want to put it somewhere else on the card, website, whatever.
Yeah, get to the point. Because sometimes when you start droning on and on and on and on like we are right now, potentially people will stop listening. And no longer is that announcement time effective, but now it's just kind of a waste of time. So kind of in line with this whole thing too, one of the things you want to do is make sure your announcements have an action step to them. So get to the point, make sure you tell them exactly what you want them to do, but then at the end, show them how they can get involved. So again, this might be like, hey, after the program tonight, if you're interested in this thing, come and see me. We have signups, or come and ask me questions so I can give you more information about this thing. You need an action step for every single announcement that you're giving to students.
Yeah, we've tried to really be different with this in our student ministry. We've actually put up tables in the back when we want them to join small groups, and we have like clipboards with a pen and a paper all lined out. Come in the back, sign up tonight. Or maybe you're high tech, text to join. Or maybe go find your parent, bring them back in. Whatever it is, make sure that action step is there so they know, hey, not just about the event, it's going to be fun, it's going to be great, it's going to be awesome. What do I need to do? What do I need to do today?
Yeah, these action steps may be the difference between having students show up to this event that you're doing and then having nobody show up to them. So make sure there's an action step that your students can take. One of the things that we do in our program as well, I think is super effective, is pretty much any announcement we have, there's a slide on the screen as that announcement is being made to make sure that students are very clear on what this is and how they can be involved with this. So get to the point and also make sure there's an action step that goes right along with it.
Number 4, practice your announcements during run through or talk through or by yourself in a closet or somewhere. Listen, this is one of those things that gets overlooked all the time. But you practice your message, you practice, when you're going to have an important conversation with parents, practice your announcements. Go through them, try them out loud.
Just like you write your message, potentially do a manuscript or an outline of some kind, do the same thing with your announcements. You may have like this thing that you want to announce, you're going to try to wing it from stage. Instead, write it out before you get up there. And then that way, when you do the run through with worship and everything else, you do it just like it's going to happen during the program time. So there's no surprises.
It's super important to practice these things out. You want to make sure that you're saying the right stuff. Like we said, it's so easy to get caught up in the weeds, in the details, but you want to know exactly what you're going to say, but more importantly, what you're not going to say. So have just enough information, just the right amount. I think we've all experienced when a youth pastor gets up and it's kind of like, we're having this event on the 27th. No, it's the 24th. Joe, we come to your house. And it's just like, no, please practice them. Make sure that you know them super well. The cool thing is they're super short. And so it's easier to remember than even like a whole message or something like that.
Yeah, if you want your worship experience, if you want that worship experience to be really, really rock solid, you can't just focus on just the worship and the message. The announcements are a part of it. That 3 minutes has got to be a 3 minutes that's engaging for students still. And so make sure that you practice those things as you go. Lastly, use creativity.
That's right.
This is like a really, really simple thing to do, but if you've got an event coming up, maybe you can dress up like something stupid on stage so that people are like, wow, that guy looks like a fool, but whatever he's talking about, I want to go to that. Maybe it's a fall festival and you got your like, fall festival kind of outfit on, your hoedown outfit, hat, overalls, whatever it is, and everybody's like, man, he looks like a doofus, but whatever he's talking about, I want to go to that.
You see, being creative makes it memorable, and so they remember that something happened that was reminding me about this event. Video obviously is a great way. It doesn't have to be complicated video. It can be super simple. We've done a Baywatch theme just to promote like a pool party or something like that. We just have a music in the background, spoof off of an old movie, something like that, just to make it fun and creative and exciting. One
of the coolest things I saw was at a youth ministry one time. It was during Valentine's Day, and they had students up front doing the announcements, but the announcements were kind of done in a Mad Lib style. And so as they were going through, at certain points they had to pull out a candy heart out of their pocket and read whatever that candy heart had to say on it in the midst of all their announcements. Just really creative ways, super simple ways to make that, like you said, very, very memorable. So students are like, I've got to go and be a part of that thing.
One of the pros of this, one of the pluses, is that as you're developing this, as you're doing this, you're getting other people involved. You're getting your students to come early.
That's always a plus to me.
You're getting them involved in your announcement time.
Yeah, be really, really creative. So, man, announcements don't have to be horrible. They can actually be super effective and can be a really entertaining time during your program as well. So we'd love to hear some of the things that you're doing. What are some ways that you're making announcements really, really fun? Comment below. Make sure you share this with somebody else. Make sure you subscribe and follow us. And then we'll see you next time in the youth room.